Hey guys and girls, it's Blackjack with 396 Guitars. We have the Dinky. This is the last installment, the Jackson Dinky on the bench. We're going to show you the old neck. We're going to show you the new neck, which we've done a ton. This is the fourth installment because there was a lot to do. We're going to clean up. We're going to do a final restring with 10s. That's what the client likes. And do a quick setup. And this thing's ready to go. It's been settling for, I would say 3 or 4 days a week, and I check it every morning, and it is as stable as can be. This is the original neck, and yeah, the camera can almost see the backbone. It is so pronounced, and yeah, there's no adjustment left. It will not relieve. And yeah, is there a way to fix that? Yeah, there is, but it would cost a hell of a lot more than what we did with this because it's such a short neck. It would have to be steamed and then pressed into a forward bow and heated and then forced into a forward bow. And it's a long, lengthy process. And I am sorry to say, and some of you will disagree, I do not consider that a permanent fix because eventually the wood dries out and goes back to the condition that it's in, which has been decades like that. So there you go. Anyway, that's my opinion. What we have is believe it or not, a $60 neck, because I probably would have tried to get a better neck for it, but unavailable because he wants the reverse headstock. And this is the fourth neck, as I said before, or the third neck, third or fourth, I lost track. They kept saying, yeah, 25-inch scale, and they would show up and have the 2 extra frets, which is about 1 3/4 inches extra down here. And you can't, yeah, you can bolt it up and string it and try to tune it, but you'll never get your intonation right. I digress. So it's cleanup, which is pretty simple because the guitar is not really in horrible shape. But I'm going to show you how I do that real quick. So lots of fingerprints because, yeah, I've been working on this guitar for quite a while. If it needed more cleanup, like, you know, buffing and what have you, okay, yeah, we could do that. But when I do that sort of thing, I remove everything. I empty so that I can get a wheel out and do it right. To get all the little tiny scratches out. But the exercise on this guitar is, it's got personal memory. It's a guitar that I think, if I'm not mistaken, is probably or is one of his first instruments when he was a young lad. And that's why I said, why not? Let's try to salvage it and make it play. Because originally he had brought this to me with one of his other instruments. I believe the other one was an LTD telly type instrument. And that one was standing tall. It responded well. And yeah, but this one, we swapped out all the pickups from one guitar to the other and that guitar back to this one. Into the LTD, and when I got to final setup on this one, I realized, oh my God, the neck won't do anything for me. Talk about coming to a screeching halt. But not to be daunted, I put another neck in here, and of course, because it is such an inexpensive neck, yeah, we needed to do a fret leveling. And that is all done. Previous video, see that. And today, oh, and by the way, I have gone when I put the mock-up strings on it, I went every fret, up and down, every different thing you could imagine, checked every fret. And well, we had some monstrously high frets and some monstrously low frets on this neck. Right now, it is standing tall. Now, why is it such an inexpensive neck? Well, that tells a story right there. It's unfinished. The fretboard is not clear coated. That doesn't frighten me. It's finished. You know, it's an open board. I already oiled it. We have polished up the fret, leveled them and polished the frets within an inch of their life. They are standing tall. And believe it or not, the fret ends the way that I do. I make sure I round off the corners and the edges. And yeah, not bad at all. So yeah, that was the extent of the cleanup. Just getting my fingerprints off. So I'm going to pause while I get all of this, all the strings through and restring it. And then we're going to do the setup. Stand by. So we're just putting the last few strings on. I put Wilkinson tuners on here, and something I learned about them, this particular one, they have a hole high up and a hole lower down to help facilitate break angle. Even though the Jackson headstock kind of bends over, you can, the lower ones, I used the higher hole and strung it that way. And then when I got down to the higher strings, the G, B, and E, I'm using actually the lower peg hole to facilitate even a better break angle. Yeah, pretty neat. I've never seen that option before. These are not super expensive tuners, but they work great. When we talk about break angle, we talk about when it rides over, the string comes up, goes over the nut, and it has to bend down. So like on a fender, that's why you have string trees to facilitate that break angle and get it to where you need it. Otherwise, the string will vibrate open. Not so much buzz, but it makes like a weird vibration, and it's audible. You can hear it. Break angle. That's your tip for the day. So far, I kind of like this inexpensive neck. Because it works. And it took a lot of work to get it to this stage, of course, like I said. A lot of fret leveling, a lot of fret work. So let's tune it up and see where we're at as far as neck relief. Now we're going to go ahead and do the whole setup on it now. So. So the brand new set of strings, of course, the ones I just took off were donor strings, and that was just for mock-up and setup, original setup. So the setup shouldn't need much, but we are going from 9s to 10s. So I'm guessing we're probably going to need to do a little adjustment there. Stretch them, or pre-stretch them. They're going to stretch and settle on their own as time goes by, but it usually takes a week or so. So that's encouraging. Pretty much stayed in tune. Pretty darn close anyway. Yahtzee. Let's see what going from 9s to 10s does, because it will probably put more pressure and wouldn't surprise me if we had too much relief, but we'll see. Yeah, a little too much. And when I say a little, not much at all. So we're going to adjust that. My 4. Make sure you keep, as close to pitch string tension on it while you're adjusting your truss rod. Perfecto. Perfecto. Bear with me. Where is our string height? What do you think? That might have changed. It does have a tremolo system on it, but it is locked down. Locked down meaning I put the trim screws all the way in. That one's got to come up. Minor adjustments here and there. I believe that's our D string. Let's check it out. In camera view, yeah. Like it. Try to keep your saddles as level as possible. I like it. I like it. A little bit low. I like it. Tune it up. Check it one more time. So we know our neck relief is set. Our string height should be good now. The D and the G, we just adjusted those, so they went out. And the high E. All right, one more time. Check it out. I'm looking for 5/64s or just barely 5/64s, as if it were a Fender Stratocaster. That one's a little low. I'm going to leave those a little bit lower just for shits and giggles and see how it plays. I'm pretty certain they're going to take it. They're all pretty much within, I mean, it's just below the 5/64ths, and I think it'll take it, which says a lot for my work. Intonation, which I already set before, so this should not have changed. I might be able to adjust that a little bit. Do I have enough to let go more? It's a little flat, and I want it to come. The problem is we're running out of intonation adjustment. I think that's why I split the difference. I got it as close as I could. Again, because this measurement from the heel to the nut is slightly off, probably by 1/8 of an inch or so, and can't do a whole lot with that. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, that's what I did before when I did the intonation. Yep, we're good. It is within like a half a cent, and the human ear cannot pick that off. I am sorry to tell you, it can't, and it's going to have to be good enough compared with where we came from, with a neck that was permanently backbowed and was unplayable, to this. Intonation is set, but we did run out of screw adjustment here. I could probably source out longer screws, because what really needs to happen is the saddles need to come this way about another couple of millimeters. And like I said, I think that's a waste of energy, time, money, whatever you want to call it. The human ear can never pick that off. Perfectly clean guitar's got my arm all over it again. I like it. Ooh, she's hot. I'm going to turn it down because I know that blows out my mic. Beautiful. Let's just take a look. Remember, not a guitar player. Oh man. I'm not going to make you suffer through that. I've already done it, and I can promise you they all do that same thing. So we don't have a dead fret anywhere, where before we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to a dozen dead frets in different positions, and some were low, some were high. Point of interest, make sure that if you're going to try to do a fret leveling for the first time yourself, make sure that before you start taping everything off and, you know, sanding down the frets, that you don't have frets that are actually not seated and that they're popping out, because that can be a problem. You don't want to go, you know, leveling frets that aren't seated into the neck, into the fretboard. Of course, I checked all that. They're all nice, and by the way, they feel pretty good this way too. That's the extent of my playing today. This guitar is done and ready to go back to the client. If I can just avoid getting my marks all over it. Nice clean guitar. Very pleased with the way this came out, and I am sure the client will be as well. It means a lot to him, this guitar. Some of us never remember our first instrument or one of our first instruments, and that's what this is. I wish I had the first bass that I ever bought. It was a Gibson Grabber back in the late 70s, I think. Yeah. And I wish I still had that instrument. Played like a ham sandwich as I think about it, but it would have been nice to have it now. It's Blackjack with 396 Guitars. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. I read your comments. I try to respond to them all, unless you're a troll, and then, yeah, you know what you can do. We'll talk soon. Like and share. Subscribe.